Pretties, it's Angela here, and today's video is going to be a necklace tutorial. I am going to be stringing this necklace up, and I may go ahead and do a bracelet and earrings to match. I have to see what's left over, but I went ahead and I wanted to use this really beautiful pendant that was sent to me by Heidi. If you've seen my friend mail video, this was one of the pendants that she sent to me, and it's actually a real fern leaf that has been electroformed, and it has little clear Swarovski crystals set into it. So it's really beautiful. It's kind of like a copper color. It's really pretty. So I wanted to kind of let that be the focal. I wanted to keep it kind of simple because it's not a very big pendant, and I didn't want to take away from the pendant. So I had these beads that I had bought from Michael's, and I thought they were really beautiful. They are an imperial jasper stone bead, and when I bought them from Michael's, they had 4 strands to the set. This one's got some white in it. I'm not sure why, but anyway. But I thought they were really beautiful colors to complement that really pretty pendant. It has the brown and the blues, and I just thought it went really well. And so I'm using those, and I do have 2 strands left in the smaller size round. I went ahead and cut up the larger size rounds. I believe these are, let me see what size these are. I'm horrible with telling sizes. I think it's a 6, but I could be wrong. No, these are an 8. So I'm using the 8 in the necklace. And I'm not sure if I may have to add some of the 6s in with the bracelet or not. And then these are 4s. So it was 4s, 6s, 8s, and then you got these really cool kind of nugget shaped beads was one of the strands. So I also alternated those and I'm leaving a couple in case I want to use them for earrings. So what I did was, let me see if I can kind of zoom you in a little bit. What I did was I started off with the focal, and I'm using some shiny crystals, glass crystals. It's like a topaz brown with an AB finish. And then I had these Swarovski crystals in like a teal color to bring out the teal blues in the jasper. So that's what I'm using to alternate here, and I have the brown crystals and some little blue bicone crystals, and I'm sure it's probably really hard to see on the beadboard. Let's see if I can bring it a little bit closer. And so then I just kind of alternated that pattern, and then I did some little spacer beads. I also have some of these little copper spacer beads, and they're a little bit darker, but I figure with the darker tones of the brown, I think it'll work. And I think that the crystals, once it gets strung, you'll be able to see those crystals away from that gray background, and it looks really pretty. So let me go ahead and zoom back out for a second. And what I'm going to be doing is I have a toggle as well that I'm going to use on the back of the necklace. And again, it's a little bit darker than the pendant, but I think that's okay. It's in the back of the necklace, so again, I think it'll work. I didn't have anything quite this bright, so I am going to go ahead and string it onto some bead-along flexible beading wire, and I have 0.015 is what I'm going to be using. So I will go ahead and string this up, and when I get to the midpoint, I'll come back and check in with you and show you how it's looking so far. Okay, so I'm at the halfway point now, where I have to put on my pendant. And so this is how it looks so far, and I'm really liking those browns and turquoise crystals with the imperial jasper. So this is the point that I'm at right now. And so I had to, in order for my pendant to lay right and to face forward, I just added a jump ring. And so I'm going to kind of sandwich that jump ring in between these crystals, so it kind of hides that jump ring once the crystals are on. So I've done the first half, and I'm going to start working on stringing the second half. Just following my pattern, and like I said, I wasn't sure if it was going to be too dark against that pendant, but I really think that the turquoise Swarovski crystals and the brown just really adds to that focal pendant. And the imperial jasper is just really pretty. So I'm just going to keep on stringing until we get the length that we want. And then we'll close it off with our toggle clasp and some crimp beads. And then we'll decide how we're going to arrange the bracelet. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish stringing this up. I'm sure you don't want to watch me string. But I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, finish stringing it up, and I'll come back and clasp it off with you. Okay, I'm back, and we have the whole thing strung up. And I am at about 16, 17, about 17 and a half inches, which is perfect. Once I add my toggle clasp on. So let me hold both of those sides so you can see a close-up of how that looks. Really pretty. I'm liking the turquoise Swarovski and the brown rondelles, and I think it looks really pretty with that pendant. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and grab some jump rings. Let me turn this around. Grab some jump rings, and then we'll close this off with a toggle clasp. Get a couple of crimps out. These are some really teeny tiny little crimps. I've only got one out. Let's see. Trying not to get a whole bunch so I don't lose them. Alright, get this back in there. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and clasp off. So let me get one of my crimps. Put the wire through the crimp. Get one part of my toggle and go back through that crimp bead. I'm going to pull it up to the top of my toggle. I'm not going to pull it super tight because I do want that toggle to be able to move so that it doesn't get too, so you want it to have a little bit of play. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flat nose pliers, and I'm just going to flat crimp that down. And so there's a little crimp right there at the end. And then I'm going to go ahead and slide some of my beads over my extra little piece of wire on this end. Alright, and then I'm going to take the other end and slide them down. Slide all those beads down. Get another crimp bead. And do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to add my toggle clasp. And I am going to pull this back through the other end of the other toggle. I mean the other end of the crimp. And I'm going to go through a couple of beads. Uh-oh, my little crimp. Oh, my bead went over my crimp. Okay. That may be a problem, okay? Well, let me not do that. And where's my crimp bead? Give me my crimp bead back. It went down in my bead. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. Oh, the struggle is real. Alright. I'm going to put another crimp bead on there. I'm going to put my toggle back on there. And I am not going to go back through another bead because apparently I'm going to lose my crimp. Alright, let's see. Alright. Sometimes all you can do is laugh, right? Okay, do not lose it in the crimp. Do not lose it back in the bead. Alright, let's see. I'm going to move it up. And I'm going to try to hold it with my finger. And pull that a little bit tighter. Alright, and then I'm going to give it a flat crimp. And then I'm going to trim off that excess. And the necklace is complete. Love it. Oh, I really do love this. Beautiful. And so that pendant is right in the middle of those crystals, so that jump ring is kind of hidden. And let me see if I can put it on the bust form so that you can see. And it's really dark in here actually, and it's on that dark bust. So let me see if I can, there we go, you can kind of see it. Maybe get a little bit more light. But isn't that beautiful? I'm loving that Imperial Jasper. Loving the crystals with it. I think the, let me go ahead and just put this back out the way for a second. And see, oh, you can see all my mess back here. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can find, I thought I had a piece of, yeah, I do. Let's see. Like a piece of white felt, and then I'll show it to you up against that white felt. I think you may be able to see it a little bit better, the color. Yeah, you can definitely see the color better. So isn't that really pretty? I think it came out really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring y'all back down a little bit so you don't have to look at my glue and all my other stuff in the background. I just off subject, but just for a second, yesterday I started something new. I started watching these videos about making paper beads, and so yesterday I was making paper beads. So I think they came out pretty. They're not perfect, but I think they're pretty. And I rolled up my paper and glued them, and then I finished them with some glitter sparkle, and then I coated them with some UV resin to kind of protect them. Anyway, I think they're really pretty, so I may do a tutorial using some of these pink paper beads, and I may make some more blue ones to do another one. But I think they came out really pretty for my first try. So anyway, that's what my glue and this little styrofoam with toothpicks and all that in the background. Alright, so there's the necklace. I'm going to go ahead and move this out the way. And then let me see if we can figure out something for the bracelet. So I have a few nuggets. I have a few of the 8mm rounds. And in order to get my size, I think I'm going to have to maybe cut up the 6mm strand. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to take these off. And I'm definitely not going to use this one with the white. I don't know what happened to that one, but we'll put him off to the side. Okay, and so right now I have, let's see, right now I have a nugget and a round and a nugget and a round. So how do I want to get these out? Let's see how I want to make my pattern. Right now, this is all I have, and the length is not long enough. So I think I'm going to put maybe two smaller rounds. Let's see, we'll move our nugget down, and then maybe we'll do, let's see, I have some more of these spacers. Let's see how I want to lay this out. Maybe we'll go ahead and I'll leave this part in so you can see my creative, messy mind of how it works. I don't know. Patterns never come easy to me. I have to really kind of work with it. Okay, so then now we have a big, let's see. So on each side of that, maybe do a nugget. Would I have enough? And then, let's see. Because I don't have a whole lot of nuggets left. I'm trying to figure out if I should do maybe a couple more. But then where do my bigger ones play? Maybe I won't use the big ones. Maybe I will just use the nuggets and the smaller round. Let me see if that will give me enough space. This is all the nuggets I have left. So if I do two, and then I do another station of crystals and spacers. Okay, so then I would do a couple more smaller rounds and a nugget. Maybe the nugget needs to go in between those smaller rounds. Yeah, I think that's what it needs to be. There we go. That makes more sense to me. This one kind of looks like a square. We may not use him. Let's see. Alright. And then we'll do another station of spacers and crystals. You know how you just get the feeling sometimes it just doesn't, it's like not quite right? Alright, now I kind of feel like I might need something in between here, but then again, I don't want to, unless I put the spacers in between here instead of, let's see how that looks, instead of by the crystals. I think I like it better on in the crystal section. And we'll just leave those beads together. And I'm wondering, well, I like the nugget shape. I was thinking maybe I should have put the 8mm in between the two 6s, but I think it's just too many rounds together. So we're going to go ahead and keep going with this pattern, I think. So we got a nugget, a round, and a nugget, and then we'll do another station of crystals and spacers. And I am getting pretty close to, I think, my length, so hopefully that will end good. Let's see, so it looks about, in fact, I may have to take off these end ones unless I do stretch. I think instead of doing a clasp, I think I may do a stretch bracelet, and then let's see, I would leave this one off and it would be around, but then I wouldn't be able to really hide the knot. So decisions, right? Alright, so let me go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to string this up and we'll come back and close it off. Okay, pretty, so I have everything on the bracelet now. So I can go ahead and clasp that off. And we'll be finished with our bracelet, and then we'll make a fun pair of earrings to match as well. So let's see, I have 2 crimp beads, and hopefully my bead doesn't eat my crimp like the necklace did. That was really funny. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. My crimp just kind of disappeared in my bead. Alright, so I do have another toggle clasp that I pulled out to match the necklace. And we're going to go ahead and crimp this side first. Let's see. My lighting today seems off in my room. Like it's kind of dark in here, it seems like. I don't know why. But it seems darker than normal. Okay, so I'm going to push that up to my toggle and do a flat crimp with flat nose pliers. Okay. And then I'm going to push a couple of those beads down to the crimp. And try not to lose my beads on the other side because I didn't put my little beads buddy stopper on there. My extra little hand, I like to call it. Alright. Push that little bicone down over it. Well, I said I was. Wants to give me a hard time. Okay. So now I'm going to slide the rest of my beads down to the other end of my bracelet, and we're going to crimp off the other side. Huh. Oh, well, that crimp didn't cooperate. Surprise, surprise. Alright, let's see. Let me try to grab another one. Alrighty. I think I got more than one. No, that's just an odd one. It almost looks like 2 crimps in one. Maybe they just stuck together. We'll check it out later. Alright, I'm going to try this again. Alright, finally got it on there. Grab my other side of my toggle. And now I gotta go back to that. The thing is, these crimps are so small. I like them because they don't really show up a whole lot at the end of your piece. You know, you don't have to worry about clamshells and extra length with that, but it's also a little bit harder to get them to go through. But like I said, I like it. They don't take up much space. You really don't see them at the end of the project. They just kind of disappear, really. If you put it next to a bead of the same color, you really don't see it. That crimp is right next to that copper bead, and you can't even see it. It's so small. And that's why I kind of like using those little bitty ones. Alright, so I cut out the excess, and our bracelet is complete. And I really like that pattern. It ended up working out really nice. So I had the like the nuggets in between the two smaller, and then the station of crystals in between that. So I'm happy with how that came out. Now I think I want to do a dangle. I think I want to put a little dangle onto this toggle, because if we want to wear it to the front, if we want to wear the toggle in the front, because it is a pretty toggle, it's kind of like got that flower motif on it. I'll show you in just a second. See how it's kind of got the little flower motif? And then the other part of the toggle. So I think I am going to put a little dangle. Let's make a little small dangle. Let me grab a head pin. And let's see, we'll do, how about we do a bicone, if it'll fit. Now see, these head pins may not fit my Swarovski, and I don't think they're going to. So let me try a rondelle. What about a rondelle? Will that go on? That will go on, and maybe a round bead and another rondelle, possibly. I feel like it needs turquoise, but I don't think my head pins are going to allow it. Maybe I'll just do it the other way. Maybe get the bead, the 6mm bead, and then the rondelle getting smaller as it goes up. So I'm going to put that Imperial Jasper on, and then I'm going to put the rondelle. And I'm going to use my one-step loopers. I'm going to use the 1.5mm. Put that in and just make a simple little dangle. Take that off. Open this up. I'm going to put it onto my toggle. And then I'm going to close that up. I'm going to make sure it's closed good. Okay. And then I have a little dangle on the top. Now I think I have, let me try this other head pin that I have and see if it's any thinner, where I can get a little one of the Swarovskis on there. Swarovski. Let's see. This is the only other head pin I have, and I don't know if they're just going to fit, or if all of them are small hold like that. They probably are. Yeah, they're just not going on my head pins. Alright, so that's okay. Although I may have to adjust my earrings a little bit. But anyway, so that is the little bracelet. It has a little dangle on the end of it. Now for earrings, I did want to put some of the turquoise. I don't know what I'm going to do now, so let's see. Let's figure this out. Maybe we'll do one of the pebble beads on an eye pin, because I want something dangling down. And I have a feeling it's going to have to be these little round and the little rondelles crystals. So I'm going to do a nugget. Oh, you know what? We need some spacers too. Let me do a rondelle, a nugget, and a spacer. See how that looks. Okay, not bad. I wish those turquoise crystals would fit on my head pins, but they don't. So, Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my 1-step looper and make that into a double loop, one on each end. And then I'm going to make another one. We're going to put our rondelle, our nugget, and a spacer bead. Okay. I'm going to take my looper and make another loop on the other side. Okay. And let's see, and I have some lever backs to attach it to, so let me go ahead and do that part, and then we'll figure out what kind of little dangles we want to add to the bottom. Let's see, go ahead and add this to my earring hook. Make sure I close it really good. Okay. So now we have our earring, and I'm going to go ahead and put the other, I keep forgetting this board is longer than what the camera focus is on. So I'm trying to stay in focus, but I'll move it out the way and after we get everything made, and I'll lay out the pieces, the finished pieces, so you can see everything together. Alright, so we have our earring on that one. So now we need to make a couple little dangles. I think, let's see, think. Maybe we can do 3 on each one. Let's see, I'm going to take out some head pins. Let's go ahead and make a couple of dangles and see what we're going to do. Let's do we'll do one with a spacer and a small round, or a small round, and I think it was a 6mm and one of the round spacers. Okay, so we have that one. So we're going to make 2 of each, one for each side of the earring. Let me put that there. Make another one of those with the 6mm round and a spacer bead. Trying to work quick. I'm sure this video is getting kind of long. Let's see. Alright. So we have 2 like that. Then we'll do maybe a 6mm and a rondelle. And we'll do 2 of those. Okay. And let's do another 6mm and a rondelle. So far we have 2 dangles for each earring. So let's grab a couple of jump rings and see how that looks. It may be enough with the 2 little dangles. Let's see. Alright. So let me get my flat pliers and my jump ring tool and open that up, and then we're going to put on one of each. So we have the 6mm and the spacer bead, and the 6mm and the rondelle. And then we're going to attach it to the bottom of here. I think that's perfect, actually. I like that. Alright, so let me go ahead and get another jump ring. Open that up. Put our 2 different dangles on here. Put it onto the bottom of the earring and close that up. Okay. And so now we have our pair of earrings. And I think that's just perfect. It's got all the little beads. Other than, like I said, I couldn't get those teal colored or turquoise colored Swarovski crystals onto my eye pins. They just were, the holes were just a little bit too small. Now I could have made my own with some wire, but I don't think it's necessary. I think the set came out really pretty how it is. Let me move this out of the way. And let me go ahead and put this white piece back down so we can see all the pieces together. So here is the necklace. And I really hope you can see it. And here's the bracelet. And you know, I probably could have added one more dangle since we had two on the earring. And I can do that. Let me grab another one. I have everything right here. Let me grab another eye pin. And the only thing I may want to do though is I may add it to the, so we have the 6mm and we need a spacer bead. Okay. Because I feel like it's just not even. Yet the earrings have two. I feel like the bracelets should have two. And in all actuality, I could add dangles to the back of the necklace too. Now, oh, look what I just did. It happens. I broke one of my beads, my jasper bead. I was trying to go a little too quick, I think. So let me move that out of the way and let me start that one over. As I say, it happens. I'm not editing it out. It's life. Alright, so this, and I need another spacer bead. Alright. You do have to be careful with the one-step looper. It can definitely crack your beads if you're not taking your time and going slow enough, and kind of just ease into it and go around making sure you are careful with your bead. That's the first time I had it happen today, but you know, it happens every so often, especially if your beads are like kind of delicate. Like, you do have to watch with your Swarovski crystals. And so I am going to take this dangle off because I want to add it with a jump ring with both of those dangles. So I'm going to get a jump ring, close that up, I'm grabbing my jump ring and my little tool, because I don't like opening jump rings without my tool. And then I'm going to put both of my dangles onto this jump ring. And then I'm going to attach that to my toggle clasp. Now it matches the earrings. Now I have a little double dangle onto my bracelet, and I think that's really pretty. So now I have the double to match my earrings, which have the double dangles right there. And I will try to zoom in to see if you can see it a little bit better. Let me see if I can bring it up too so you can see the color. Isn't that beautiful? There's that beautiful pendant. The really pretty imperial jasper. This brown topaz colored crystals. The teal colored Swarovski crystals. I have the dangle on the back. And like I said, I could put the dangle on the back of the necklace as well. So that's just a thought as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that I did Heidi's beautiful pendant justice in this. And if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Please click on the subscribe button. And as well,